How's it going, everybody? I am back again with some more Baldur's Gate by request. I actually had someone in the comments on the series ask that I continue this, so I'm going to. I had considered cutting the series short because of the lack of views, and potentially starting it up again later with a new playthrough. But since this was requested, someone was saying that they were enjoying the series and wanted to see more of it, I decided to just kind of pick up where I left off. It has been a while since I played it, so I do have a bit of a lack of memory from where I left off. I did rewatch some of my old stuff to try and see where I left off. What I'm doing still is I was doing some purchases, utilizing the bug that allows you to continue to resell thrown items from a druid. Right now I'm using Shadowheart to do that because she is our druid. We have Will as a druid and a warlock right now, but I'm about to switch his class, which is why I decided to go ahead and bring back right here. I'm going to have him be a hex buckler. I don't know if that was my original plan, but it's what I want to do. I think it's a really good class. It keeps us having a rogue in the group, and I like that. I'm going to be keeping Karlach as the giant barbarian. Shadowheart is going to be a mix of a Circle of the Stars druid, which is what she is currently, and then later on I'm going to add the light cleric, the circle, or the, I don't remember, way of light cleric, whatever it's called, so that we can do like a radiance build with Shadowheart. And then my main character Monaghan I'm going to keep as a hex bard. So we are going to have two hexblade warlocks in the group, but two very different playstyles for them, so hopefully that's interesting for you guys. But I wanted to go ahead and do the class change.
Spins along as it should.
So I wanted to show you what I was doing here. So
Dost thou require a new ally? Or mayhaps a resurrection?
Sorry, just trying to let him finish talking. We're going to go ahead and switch the class for Will here, like this.
Desire.
And what we're going to do from that is, since Will's not our main character, they're not going to be getting the Hag's hair or anything like that. So I plan on keeping Warlock as the starting class, continue there. We're going to get rid of Blade Ward and do Booming Blade because that's going to be very important. I am going to use Hexblade. I don't really want these. What I want to go with is Armor of Agathis because it's really good with a Hexblade, and Hex because it's something that we can maintain and move to new targets. So those are your two best options there. As far as this, I want to go to Constitution. We're not going to be getting the Hag's hair, so I would rather keep a 16 in Charisma rather than putting it up to 17. Then I'm going to put a 16 up into Constitution because that's important as well. We're going to drop down the Intelligence and Wisdom and get up to 14 Dexterity because Dexterity does matter a little bit, especially where we're going to be half or like split into Rogue. So we're going to keep that, and I think this is the stat spread I want. And then going from here, most of these stats aren't going to matter too much. Let's see here what we have available. Deception, Intimidation, Religion. We've got Arcana, History, Investigation, and Nature. Let's go ahead. Go with Deception. I think that's actually pretty good. We're not going to be doing any conversation-related stuff with Will, or at least I don't intend to, so let's change this up a bit then. Let's go Nature and Investigation, because those are good to have on any character. They can proc even if you're not using that character as your main one in the party. So I'll go with that. Keep Will as is. And then going forward, I'll bring you back as I do the level ups, but since I'm still doing the monetary things, doing that class change should have made it to where now the stores have restocked. I'm going to go continue with that, and then I'll come back in between as I level Will, show you what choices I make. And then finally, at the end of all of that, I'm going to manage inventory, show you guys what all I've purchased and things, so that you can see that before moving forward. Alright, we are back again with level 2. We're going to split off of Warlock now and go to Rogue, because we want to go ahead and get the benefits of being a part Rogue from this. We're going to go until we get Swashbuckler. So for here, Sleight of Hand's pretty good. We need that for most of our lockpicking, which will relegate to this character. So I'm pretty okay with that, I think. Yeah, we only get the one, so Sleight of Hand's totally fine. And then we get Skill Expertise. there are a few different options here. Obviously, Persuasion's a pretty good one, but we're not going to be having Will do that. So we're going to go Sleight of Hand for one, because we want the lockpicking to be as good as possible. Alternatively, there's Survival, which wouldn't be the worst. And Investigation's not terrible either. Let's have Will have Survival, though. He's probably going to be our best individual for that, I would imagine. What does Survival go off of? Wisdom? Maybe not then, because we do. And then Investigation is off Intelligence, which isn't particularly high either. Maybe we do that just because he has decent intelligence comparatively to a lot of the rest of the group. It's hard to say. It's going to be the same either way, potentially. So yeah, I think we're going to have more more wisdom capable with Shadowheart, because she's going to be a cleric and a druid. So I'm going to do Investigation on Will, just because I don't think there's anyone that's going to have super high intelligence in the group. Now, I'm about to complete this. I'll be going back to the buying and selling from here, so I'll come back again once we're showing level 3. Alright, we're back again with the next level, level 3. We're going Rogue again, which is going to give us our Cunning actions, which are going to be really important, actually. So accept that. I think this is the only choice for this level. So it's going to give us our Cunning actions and access to these things. The really important level is the next level, level 4, where we're going to be getting level 3 in Rogue. That's where we get to choose our specialization. We're going to get to pick Swashbuckler and make more decisions from there. But I'll go ahead. This is level 3. Alright, now as you can see, that's all I have level-wise at the moment here. I do have just a little bit more bartering to do, or trading to do, to go ahead and optimize the use of the fact that we just got one more level up. So I'll be back after that to show you what all I've purchased. I'll probably do a little bit of organization in the inventory, showing everybody what we have. I did want to just show again once more how you do the, let's say, glitch to get money infinitely. When you have a druid, you can wild shape. That's why I have Shadowheart as a cat right now. And then if you have a thrown item in their inventory, in this case I'm using Alchemist Fire, you click on it to go to throw it, and nothing happens. That actually shows the item is like bound to the person they're trying to throw it. So from that point, whenever you go into the inventory of a merchant, which I'll just do quickly here, you can see that we go down to the Alchemist Fire that Shadowheart has tried to throw, and you click and it sells it, but it doesn't actually leave the inventory. You can do this really, really quickly, just completely get all their inventory. So I'm just buying things from Auntie Ethel and Danon, I think his name is, the tiefling blacksmith, and doing some trades with that while taking up their money so that I can get a pretty good amount for ourselves. So I'm going to continue that, finish it up, and show you when I get finished. Alright everybody, I finished with all of my purchasing and leveling that I planned on doing. I'll go ahead and show you what I've got going on inventory-wise. I switched Monaghan to the scale mail that Will was wearing, because I'm going to keep my main character as a character who's going to one-hand a longsword and use a shield, so I don't want to... where I'm going to have Will dual wield, I have him currently set up with scimitars. Dual wielding, his defense rating is going to be a little bit lower without having the shield, so I figured having him have the best armor in the party was the best option there. So you can go ahead and see what I've got on Will right now: dual wielding scimitars, the Githyanki half plate gear, and then have the smuggler's ring and the gloves of power. Haven't really changed anything inventory wise other than that. Karlach we do have with these Elixir of Hill Giant Strength that I purchased from Auntie Ethel. That is why we had the strength rating so low on her levels, because we are going to be supplementing that with these potions, and I bought plenty of them, don't worry. I just have her only holding about 5 or 6 of them at the time. Shadowheart, no real change to her equipment at all. She's currently wielding a +1 quarters staff. I still have in her inventory the Alchemist Fire, and she's a cat right now. I'll probably leave that be the case for now until I plan on getting into any combat, and then I'm going to go back to doing the Starry Form Wild Shape instead. But because I was doing the money exploit, we needed a druid in an animal form. She does have the Hellrider's Pride, which we pickpocketed off of that Tiefling earlier. It's going to help with any kind of healing when it's necessary, but we don't really need a dedicated healer in this group, in my opinion anyway, because we're going to be situated pretty well. So going back to the main character here, I'll just show you I've organized my Traveler's Chest. We've got like 12k gold sitting here if we end up needing to do any significant more purchases, as well as just a handful of other random assortments of things here. I have organized my chest, so I've got all of the weapons and things that I may decide to use, things like legendary gear, or even just +1 weapons if I decide I want to switch Will to a ranged fighter that dual wields. We've got some hand crossbows here in the inventory just in case. Different stuff like that I don't think we're going to need immediately, but it's here if we want it. Let's see, from here we do have another backpack. This is where I've stored all of my food items. The weight on food items significantly stacks up to weigh down your character and the ability to pick up more things, so I recommend just stashing it in your camp. It's still going to be usable from inside your camp traveler, or your traveler chest, so it's better just to store it all away there. I've got another backpack here. This is just the scrolls that I have, and I do have some duplicates here. You could sell those off if you wanted to. Let's see. In this backpack, we've got... That's the one I already opened, I'm sorry. In this backpack, we've got all of the different books that I have. I went ahead and sold off most of the duplicates that I have, so they're just one-ofs. I like to hoard books. You don't have to by any means, but this is what I did with all of those that I have found so far, is I just stashed them away in a separate chest. And then I think this one, is where I put all of my dyes. I purchased a lot of dyes for clothing dyes while I was doing my money glitch. So those are all here, and you don't need near as many as I have, but I like to have options available. I went ahead and dyed Monahan's armor to the muddy red, just so it all kind of matched and looked nice with the cape. I'll probably change that in the future as I come across some better ones, but this is fine for now. And then, as you could probably tell, I've changed up Will's. I went with the Drake General armor. I thought it looked cool, the gold and the red on this armor in particular, so it looks alright. But anyway, going from there, we're going to be getting back into the actual gameplay. I'm in the camp here just because I wanted to show off everything that I had purchased. All the potions and stuff, like I said, are in this pouch along with the food, so we've got a couple of different potions here, all of our Hill Giant strength and stuff. I try and keep my stuff organized as best I can just to make it a little less difficult to sort through in the future. But we're going to go ahead and continue now. I'm going to head back from the camp. Back at the Hollow now. We've got more purchasing we want to do. I don't remember exactly everything that I had done here so far, so I'm just going to talk to a few individuals and try making some progress before we leave. Let's see. Already found this pouch. Looks like it's empty, so we've probably already talked to everybody here. Okay. Already exhausted the dialogue with that, so that's fine. There's Donnie. I'm going to do a save here, which it doesn't matter if you do. I'm playing on honor mode, so I can't do like a quick load, but I wanted to go ahead before talking to Donnie. Is a good time to do it if you're not.
His eyes flicker to yours for an instant, then away, as if it hurts to look at you.
Okay. No real dialogue there. We probably already interacted with Donnie. You can do... Let's see. I guess I could go ahead and check out this stuff. Nothing I want there. I'll pick this up for now, but I don't think that I'm going to need it. That's locked, so we can have Will get into it. Nothing there, so let's go ahead and switch to Will. Lockpick here. I don't want to do that. So I think we're gonna go just with this, and that's fine. 17's good. Turns into a 26 with all the bonuses he has. I'm guessing Shadowheart in this wild shape form can't use guidance, so that's what that issue was. We've got some stuff here. So I actually have all of my alchemical ingredients with Gale. Again, just something to avoid carrying a lot of things. And then I'm sending most of my gold to camp so that I just don't get encumbered by it. There's some interesting dialogue options you can do with this vendor here, but I just straight up don't want to do them. I don't like interacting with him. There's no real benefit to it that I've found. There's nothing I want to buy wares-wise or anything, so it's just unnecessary. I'm going to be skipping it. It can be fun, though, especially if you have a rogue and you want to try doing some dialogue stuff.
Let my daughter go right now!
She's a thief, hellspawn, and you will wait for Korga's judgment. Now get back!
Oh, let me through, Mragrasham, or I'll rip your damn throat out!
Alright, so tensions are getting pretty high here between the druids and the tieflings from the looks of things.
Come, Magrin, give him a chance. You, step back. We'll not tolerate drow in here.
So, I'm fine with just being a tad bit aggressive here.
Keep back. Force my hand and I'll show you its claws.
A moment, Giona.
What? Why would she allow one of them? I suppose so. Yes. You. Apparently Korga wants to see you. Go ahead. But a word of warning. One wrong move and every single animal here will tear you apart.
Alright, so as they mentioned in the dialogue there, if you don't remember, I'm playing as a Dark Elf because, honestly, I really like the Dark Elf. And most people are pretty racist towards them in this game, so you get more interesting dialogue with a lot of that. The choice of that was so that I could get darkness on this character through a inherited trait rather than having to pick it later on through any of my level ups, so that's why that is. This over here is a really good vendor that we want to talk to, so I'm going to make a quick stop here.
Do my eyes deceive me? A drow! Here!
Forgive my surprise. It's rare to find your kind above ground. Rare and intriguing on a day already packed with intrigue.
You were at the gates just now, no? When the goblins came? You saw them up close? A few questions, if you please. There's no overstating my interest.
So I actually really love Volo. He's a fun one to talk to. But really important before we get too into dialogue, you can see down at the bottom there's a trade option. I'm going to go with that. He has a ring that I really want. It says Blessed Mercy. When you heal a creature, it gains 1d4 bonus to attack rolls and saving throws for 2 turns. It's really, really nice, so I recommend picking up this ring no matter what kind of interactions you go with here with Volo. I don't think there's anything else I care too much to grab. We're definitely going to get that ring. Not too expensive with all the money that we've hoarded up now, and I'm not even going to... if you want to, like, you can do the thing with Shadowheart, so I guess I'll just slurp up all his money real quick before we move on. So, entirely unnecessary. I didn't need his cash, but it's worth going ahead and just stockpiling as much as you need. I don't want to have to wild shape Shadowheart out of wild shape again in the future as much as possible. So, like I said, we're going to be going into combat in the near future, so I'm going to be switching her back to her starry form, and I'm not going to be able to do these trades at that point is pretty much the main reason I'm going ahead and doing this now. But once you're done with that, you can continue the conversation. It doesn't take you out of it or anything, so no problem.
Glory. Now then, how would you describe that particular batch of goblins? Size, nature, distinguishing qualities?
You search your mind, successfully recalling various details of goblin behavior.
So really fun bard options here in general. So I like going with those. Let's see here. Which one do we want to go with, though? Didn't you see the tentacled ship? It was an illithid invasion force. The goblins are being controlled. Classic raid gang, complete with lasher and smattering of booyogs. I'm going to go with this one.
Ye gods! Can it be? How terribly compelling.
Yeah, he eats it up, the bard
And
options.
The dragon they had marching in the rear, was it of the brass or silver variety?
So, got more bard option. Yeah, let's go with this one.
A gold dragon! How marvelous. Thank heaven you were here to specify, or I might have recorded a bold-faced lie. Last question, then you'll be quite free. Did the attackers rally to the absolute when they fell upon the gates?
Another bard option here.
They did, didn't they? Oh, curious. Oh, curious indeed. I've interrogated one, a captive in this very camp. She reports they've abandoned their god Maglabiet in favor of someone called the Absolute. The scandal!
Let's see here. Another bard option.
Oh, I'd imagine him quite displeased. Since their change in allegiance, these goblins are informed by a kind of strategy anathema to their kind. I, for one, intend to get to the bottom of it. I'm just preparing to head to their camp as we speak, in fact. If you'll excuse me, I ought not to dawdle.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, never you mind. Who needs mercy when you've a quick tongue, hmm? And an invisibility potion stashed in your back pocket.
Until we meet again.
I don't know about storing potions in back pockets. That seems bad in my opinion, in case you just accidentally sit on it poorly.
I'm ready.
Let's go ahead and get out of this wild shape.
These adventurers, what have you heard?
And then, can I do it again? Yeah. Let's go ahead and get the starry form back. The archer is my preference here. At least it synergizes with what I plan on doing with Shadowheart. And importantly, too, I want to give her that ring that we just bought. So, there we go. That is beneficial for our healer.
Alright, what now?
Not too much else here that I care terribly to mess with. Do I have Mage Hand on my character? Let's go ahead, while I'm thinking about it, go to Will and do Bind Hexed Weapon. Your main hand weapon, I think, is the only one that gets that bonus, but that's fine. You can do Booming Blade on sneak attacks, which is really nice. I'm going to go ahead and do Armor of Agathis as well. Do I need Armor of Agathis applied here? I do, so let's do that on... Oh, we're out of spell slots, but that's fine. We'll take a long rest before we do too much else, I suppose. What else was I doing? Do I have Mage Hand? I do. Okay. So, I'm going to come over here. There is a bird to talk to. Again, quick save. Doesn't really help me as much, but doing so before any kind of important conversations or decisions is always good. So, talk to this bird.
Shh, I'm concentrating. Does this look good? Is the coin in the middle?
Okay, I like going Bard here, just to try and convince him to do something other than decorate his nest.
He lets out a tentative chirp. Gaining confidence, he starts a song, abandoning his nest-building efforts.
Okay, so once that's done, you can kind of just pick up all these things in the nest here. The important thing there is a key. Just take him whatever I get. And then now, if we use Mage Hand, let's go ahead. There's a chest right up here, and I want to summon the Mage Hand up there. We'll use that to throw this chest. Not a lot of good options on where to throw it, so I'm just going to put it right here. Gets it down to where it's accessible, but people will be upset with the hand for throwing it. See, Attitude, Mage Hand, 5, that kind of thing. But since we have that key, we can open this up. We'll go ahead, send to camp on most of this. We're going to add this to wares. And these are just potions we'll send to camp. I don't have much use for potions personally, so I just stockpile them. But if you need them, they're there. They can be helpful. See what this pig's got to say real quick.
I thought you were Halcyon.
The boar prances around, haunches clenching and unclenching impatiently.
Where's Halcyon? Promise me a mate.
So, a very, let's say, a bothered pig. And then coming on over here, this is an important dialogue position, so we'll go ahead, do another quick save, and head inside.